actually were supposed to do this. It's Friday. Woohoo! We all love Friday. How are you doing? How has your week been, especially for those of you that have been in the 5-day challenge? How has your week been? Do you have any takeaways so far? I would love to know. I know you guys are giving them to me in the group, but if you're on here, I would love to know. Today is recipe day. Recipe day in the group. So that's always very exciting. Come on in. I actually have some coffee with me this morning, and it's been long enough since I've had my probiotic that I can have my coffee. I always forget. So anyway, good morning. Happy Friday. Listen, today I want to do I'm going to talk about very similar things. So things will be very similar. We talk about insulin resistance every single day. We go live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We've done it for like a year and 3 quarters. And hello, Sue, good to see you. And so it's not uncommon for us to talk about belly fat. It's not uncommon for us to talk about insulin resistance creates belly fat, all of that stuff. But I saw a reel, and I wish I remembered who. Maybe I have. I don't think I do. Dr. Mark Hyman was interviewing somebody. So I'm going to bring this information to you today. And it has to do with the connection actually between, this is why, I'm constantly talking to you about visceral fat. It's the fat that's underneath the fat that you can pinch. Okay. But it's connected to dementia, especially in women. So we're going to talk about that today. And for all of you that are already you're on the total body reset, or you're taking, or even just the orange pixie stick all by itself, you are doing such a good thing for your body. You have no idea. Maybe you do, but I always assume people don't know what an amazing thing happens when you can turn back that visceral fat. This is so important. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today, but happy Friday. Good to see y'all. Hi, Kathy. You figured out how to do the chat. Yay. I'm so excited. Kathy, what's your last name? You're on YouTube. That's fantastic. YouTube is a weird place. So you're right. I don't even know if I would know how to do the chat on YouTube. So you're not alone. That's for sure. Geraldine, happy Friday. You are loving the challenge this week, Deborah says. You feel like you are gathering so many tools and tips. I'm so glad that is true. I'm so glad. Marilyn from New York, happy Friday. Looking forward to the recipe day. Me too. Good morning. I love how Deborah says Kirsten and friends. Kirsten and friends, because this is literally what has happened. Who knew 10 years ago when they started doing live video that you could meet strangers and they would become your friends, and they would become your business team partners, and you get to meet them in real life. This is how I've met people in Minnesota that I would have never met, that I wasn't going to run into them in Target and just meet them. I'm just saying, it's just crazy pants. So today I want to get into some of well, I don't know what I was going to say, but the nuts and bolts. That does not sound exciting at all. So let's do this instead. Let's jump into the connection between visceral fat and dementia. You may or may not know that my father was 100% Italian. My mother was 100% Swedish. And so the Italian side of the family had a lot of obesity and a lot of type 2 diabetes. This was my world. So much so that I just thought maybe I was supposed to embrace being, kind of like an obese Italian woman. Maybe that's just my destiny too. And I did say no in my brain. And then it was about another 10 years before I found, or God gave me pieces to my puzzle to help me turn things back around. But my mother, who was 100% Swedish, who should have never, ever ended up with type 2 diabetes, that was not in her family. Her mother was sharp as a whip until she passed at 97, playing Scrabble. We did not see it coming. And my mother ended up taking the Italian part of her life, ending up with type 2 diabetes, and then dementia, Alzheimer's. For 5 years, we took care of her. So there is a connection, there is a bridge. And that's why this is so, for me, this is like a big conversation, but I want to bring it down and make it very simple. And I want you to leave with hope. Okay. Because I'm telling you what, if you can get it into your brain that you need to bring down your insulin and deal with that visceral fat underneath, like your whole life can change. I don't mean to be dramatic, but your whole life can change because it brings down inflammation. You lose weight. You reduce your risk of dementia. You reduce your risk of like everything. And I mean, freaking everything. Like, I'm not a doctor, I'm just your friend, but insulin resistance is the trunk of the tree. And every single thing, I swear, everything comes from it. It's like this black hole of doom that nobody talks to us about. And it can go anywhere from, just having, a little extra weight around your belly and you're like frustrated and you can't zip up your jeans, to full on type 2 diabetes and you're having toes removed. Or my dad dead at 63. So there's this long range, but you know what? That dementia one really bugs me. It really, really, really bugs me. And that's why I wanted to talk about that today, because listen, it sucks bad. I know that every single one of us have been touched by dementia in some way. Do you remember how it used to be that we would have this thought process? Maybe it was just me. I don't think so. But you have this thought process where it was like, God, I remember a time where there was hardly anybody who had the C word, CAN, right? Very few people ever. Now, like, everybody has it. Is it just because we're hearing more about it? Or I remember having this thought in my head probably about 20 years ago. Super interesting. Like, it used to be rare and now it's not rare anymore. Like, everybody's got, now there's a C day for everything. It's like, this is crazy. This is what dementia is now. I didn't know anybody with dementia. Like, what? And now they can't build memory care fast enough. So let's dive into some of the nuts and bolts of everything. Happy Friday, Lynn. Good to see you. Magda, good morning, sweetie. Happy Friday, Jan. Lee, morning. You're a hat girl also. I know. You know what? I do like a good hat day. It just is easy. And I don't know. Maybe it's because I live in Minnesota and I need to stay warm. I don't know, Lee. I don't know what my problem is. But I also like it because I can buy ones that say things. And so it's kind of like swag, I guess. I don't know. I like to I should probably go and find some more. Good morning. You really enjoy these morning chats. They are very helpful. Thank you, Susan. You are so welcome. And I'm so glad that you would say that. That makes my heart happy because, listen, we are in this together. We apparently know now that nobody's going to save us. We have to figure this out on our own. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it together. Good morning, Renee. This is your first chat? Well, welcome in, Renee. Grab a cup of coffee or tea or water. I have both. I have my coffee and my water. Grab something to drink, and we'll just be here for about another maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and then we're done for the day. But we do this every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we've done it for almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. And we talk about insulin resistance, and this has just been my world. So happy to have you here. So let's just dive into this. Patty, good morning. Okay, very, very good. So, the title is basically, it's not your weight. It's the kind of fat that your body is storing that's putting your brain at risk. Okay. So I get it. We want to always talk about the scale, and I understand the conversation, but like, this reel was an interview with Dr. Mark Hyman and this guy, and I wish I knew his name. And he was talking about how we just focus so much on weight. And listen, I'm with you. I really do understand. But he's like, but you need to be paying attention to the right markers so that your life doesn't go down a wrong road. And he was very specifically talking about visceral fat and dementia. So if your belly is growing, but the scale isn't moving, it's not just fat, it's insulin sending a signal, because insulin resistance is actually creating the visceral fat. So let's do that first, and then we're going to talk about the connection with the visceral fat and dementia. So most women focus on losing weight, but what really matters is the fat that is stored. I'm going to sneeze. Why am I sneezing today? Silliness. Makes you, I'm not a allergy type person, so that's super interesting. But subcutaneous fat is the kind that you can pinch. Okay. So that's your subcutaneous fat. That's just like normal. We all don't like that, right? Visceral fat is hidden. It's hidden. It's packed around your liver, your pancreas, and your intestines. Not happy. Women with higher visceral fat, this is what the guy was saying. Listen to me now. 39% higher risk of dementia. Women with belly fat have a 39% higher risk of dementia. That fat is metabolically toxic. It produces inflammatory chemicals that affect both the brain and your insulin sensitivity. This is such a big deal. Marilyn says that her mom and her sister had dementia. You're looking to learn as much as you can to avoid this evil condition. Thanks for sharing on this topic. Yeah, you are welcome, Marilyn. This is so dear to my heart. You know, like I said, took care of my mom for 5 years. I still have, I'm not even kidding you. Like, and just, you have to hear me. My sister and I made such an amazing team. I am not confused as to how blessed I was to have a sister where we were on the same page. We navigated this journey so well. We took her out when COVID came. We put her in my sister's house. I came over, I did all of her showers, and then she lived with me. And then we navigated it extremely well. By the grace of God, we did. But there is still even a part of me that just is like I just, somebody I know is now working for assisted living. And I'm like, God bless you. Because dementia is so hard. It's a hard disease. So I'm very passionate about talking about how type 3 diabetes. So let's go there, right? Anyway, but high insulin levels in your body, they tell your body to store fat and not burn it. And we talk about this a lot. It's not storing fat on your arms. It's storing fat in your midsection, your trunk. So underneath your boob, underneath your bust, all the way down your hips. This is your trunk fat. That's where all of your visceral fat is getting stored, around your liver, around your pancreas, around your intestines. Okay. That's what we're talking about. So over time, this insulin especially directs fat storage into the liver and the visceral area, your body's emergency energy bank. Over time, this creates fatty liver and hard, bloated bellies that won't budge, even if you're eating clean or exercising. So in simple terms, insulin resistance equals fat getting locked inside of your organs instead of being used as fuel. That's what visceral fat is, okay? So the number on the scale doesn't tell you if you're losing fat or muscle. It doesn't tell you if you're losing fat or muscle. Do you think you want to be losing muscle? Or do you think you want to be losing fat, visceral fat, right? So the scale's not going to tell us that. Perimenopause makes it harder because we naturally lose about 1% muscle each year after 40. Many quick fix diets and medications drop the number, but also drop lean mass, slowing metabolism and worsening insulin resistance long term. So even if you're taking like some sort of a medication help for weight loss, that's not necessarily touching, well, not necessarily, it isn't. It's not talking to you about your muscle mass or your visceral fat, etc. The goal isn't to get lighter. That's what a scale tells you. The scale tells you if you're getting lighter, you are looking to get leaner, more muscle, less visceral fat, and better brain protection. Okay. So listen to that one again. More muscle, less visceral fat, more brain protection. Okay. And everything we talk about does exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what we're chatting about today. So what to track instead of your weight. Okay. This is where this gets super interesting, and you probably want to know these pieces. Waist circumference. Okay. Get out your measuring tape, girls. Get out your fabric measuring tapes or go buy one this weekend. Make that your weekend to-do list. Go get yourself a measuring tape that's fabric like this and measure your waist circumference. If it's over 35 inches, that equals visceral fat and it's a warning sign. Okay. Body composition is fat percentage, muscle percentage, and bone density. Okay. Track your energy levels, your sleep quality, your cravings. These are all insulin signals. All of them, right? So visceral fat can be reversed, but you have to turn off the insulin flood first. This is why we talk about this so much. When you have high insulin in your body, you can't burn fat. And when I say you can't burn fat, what I'm really talking about is you can't burn that visceral fat that you're trying so desperately to get rid of. That's what you can't do. So you have to be able to switch it around as to burning sugar and glucose and turning your body into a fat burning machine, because you need to get rid of this fat right here that's around your organs and making it so that you have a higher risk of dementia. So this is what the guy said. He says, women that have increased waist circumference, visceral fat around their body organs, women are at a 39% higher risk of dementia that have fat around their visceral organs and belly fat. And you know what happens to women during the menopause transition? It gets really hard to lose belly fat, and we lose 1% muscle mass each year, etc. But everyone in their body, we want to lose fat and we want to gain muscle. We want to put on muscle. We want to lose body fat. A lot of people take these weight loss drugs. They have some interesting features, he says, but we shouldn't be tracking weight. I don't want to hear about weight. I want to hear about body fat and bone density, which is really critical to measuring belly fat is 100% muscle mass, and be fat absolutely critical factors to prevent cognitive decline. So he's making a direct connection saying, listen, if you've got a big belly, your chance of dementia is going way up 39% as a female if you have belly fat and that it is visceral fat, right? It responds incredibly well, however, once insulin levels drop and your liver starts to function better. That is how you can actually make a difference in your visceral fat. So we've talked about this so often, it's like having your testimonies come in about your MRI scan getting better for a fatty liver, or your in-body scan getting better for your visceral fat content in your body, having things that are actually labs that are actually talking to us about the visceral fat around our organs, because we're not thinking about that. We're never, ever thinking, unless somebody comes to you and says, have you ever heard of visceral fat? Let's talk about visceral fat. There's no reason for you to think about it, because that's not how that works, right? Why would you? But it's hidden. It's packed around your liver, your pancreas, and your intestines. When your cells stop responding properly to insulin, which is glucose, sugar, they can't enter the cells efficiently. So the body's response is to pump out even more insulin to push that sugar in. So high insulin levels tell the body, store fat, store fat, store fat. And that's where it's storing it. So high insulin levels tells the body, store fat, don't burn it. Insulin especially directs your fat storage into the liver, into the visceral area. It's your body's emergency energy bank. So most of us are going around going, what the heck? Why aren't my clothes fitting properly anymore? Like, I can't, what is going on? And when we feel that way and we're like, it's just my belly. My belly's so big. What is up with that? And it's like, I just can't seem to get it to go away. Like, my legs are getting skinnier, but my belly is growing. That's a huge red flag. That's a huge red flag, because that visceral fat is toxic. It's toxic. And it is actually the connection now to that visceral fat. As a female, a waist circumference over 35 inches is one of the clues. You could also get in-body scans. You could get MRIs if you have need, or ultrasounds to, find out about liver. You can also get your liver enzymes taken. There are all sorts of ways that you can do that. But the point being that, once you understand that you do have visceral fat like that, like if you've already been diagnosed with a fatty liver, et cetera, 39% higher risk of dementia as a female. That is staggering. And isn't it? I feel like it's really kind of cool though that they're making the connection, because now you and I will do something about it. We'll do something. We'll change it, won't we? And that's exactly what we do around here. So when I talk to you guys and you guys give me back your results, what happens is Phyllis is here from Arkansas. Good to see you, Phyllis. Good to see you. So glad to have you on. I haven't seen your name pop up in a little bit. Barb, good to see you. Oh, I was freezing. So sorry. Has to be my Wi-Fi, right? If two people say that, I'm so sorry. I hate that. No. Don't be freezing. Don't be freezing. Must be a really important conversation. So many of you have sent in, your results from doing like the total body reset, et cetera. And, I was going through a bunch of testimonies last night, and it's just like, I forget all of the people that have sent me testimonies of how many inches they've lost under their bust, around their waist, and on their hips. And so I always have some that are at the top of my head because they're the easiest to remember, but there are many, many, many. And the average of what I have seen is, and I do talk about all 6 pieces of the total body reset, but if I was only going to talk to you about one, I'll go backwards that way then, would be the orange pixie stick. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this was actually created to target visceral fat. This was actually created to target belly fat. And so now for over a year, in my tracking of you, just in my little world, this is what I've seen hands down. After about a month of doing this, it tastes like orange candy. It just is. It's a clinical dose of an extract. You put it on your tongue like this. It was created as a pre-workout, but it doesn't make you feel anything necessarily. It's a fat burner. It's a thermogenic, heats up the inside of your fat cell. But you put it on your tongue every single day, and you're going to do it for 90 days. And then you're going to take 30 days off. After about a month, common, no claims or guarantees, common, however, for people to lose 1 inch in these 3 areas. Common. Okay. After about 90 days, 4 inches. Common. After a year, I have somebody that has said between all 3 of these areas, 14 inches. Like it just kept going. So she was like 6 inches from up here, 5 inches from here. Do you understand? So it's a thermogenic. You don't want your body to get used to it. If you want to have information on this particular one alone, on Facebook, you can put a fire emoji and YouTube, and I can answer that for you. I'll just send you just this one product, just this one, because this is the visceral fat targeter. Now, don't get me wrong. The fullness of the thought process is that you need to get your insulin down and you need to get your liver to function at a high level. So that is just one way that you can do that. If you're just like, I'm just going to start with one thing. Perfect. Visceral fat. Let's do that. Now, as the total body reset, you guys, this is, the fullness of this is where people are able to not just deal with their visceral fat, not that one component, but the other components, the A1C coming down, the triglycerides coming down, the not diabetic put into a chart, the weight loss, the Dawn phenomenon going away, trying to think of all of the different testimonies, the meds that people are getting off of. I could name so many. Let's see if I can think of a handful of meds that people have gotten off of in my world specifically. Fibromyalgia, IBS, antacid, MET, you know what I mean? STATIN, anti-anxiety. So many. I'm going to stop there because I'm not trying to make them up for sure. But those are the ones for sure. Somebody had sent me a testimony. Said I've now gotten off of 10. Actually, I've had more than one person tell me that. I've gotten off of 10. Because when you deal with your insulin resistance, you deal with the fallout of it. And all of these symptoms that you're dealing with, it's all the fallout, the high BP, the acid reflux, the bad digestion, the constipation, the diarrhea, the fatty liver, all of the visceral fat, the leaky gut, that we could talk about this for like an hour over coffee because insulin resistance is just wreaking havoc in your body. And most doctors are not giving you an insulin test. Most are not. It's a hormone. And they're not telling you that they could help you like a decade earlier. From New Brunswick, Bonnie, good to see you. Hi, Joan says, love this information. Very helpful. Thank you, Coach Kirsten. You're welcome, Joan. Let me see here, Barb. My sugar count the other day was 5.6. What was it before, Barb? So your A1C was 5.6. You told the doc that I'm following you for insulin resistance, and he said, good, do it. I love that. Barb, that is so exciting. That is really exciting. And I'd like to know, what was your A1C? Do you know? Use it for only 1 month, question mark. Thought it was 3 months. It is 3 months, Debbie. I'm just telling you that, or Deborah, I'm just telling you that it would be common for somebody, if all they did was this and they did it for 1 month, they would begin to see that result of 1 inch down. But because it's a thermogenic and you don't want your body to get used to it, when you do that, you go 90 days on, 30 days off. 90 days on, 30 days off. That's how you can get your body to keep on recreating and not slowing down on that process of targeting that visceral fat. That's why over the full year of doing the total body reset for Magda, she lost 14 inches all over her body, 14 inches. That is huge. That is like, boom. That is amazing. All that visceral fat, because you're shrinking from the inside out. You're like, it's like your fat cells are like this and they kind of go, and then you're measuring it here and you're like, game on, this is awesome. Yeah, you are welcome for that information. But anyway, so the total body reset, then like what Magda is doing, etc. Now, what I know about Barb is that Barb, I'm going to pause for just a second. You track with me on here. So Barb just said that her A1C is a 5.6 and that her doctor told her that she was following me and some of my protocol for insulin resistance. And he said, yes, because 5.6, that's really good, right? I know Barb is in Canada. And I know Barb does not have access, hasn't launched yet in Canada. The gut primer has not launched there yet. And the orange pixie stick has not launched there yet. So what that tells me, what I already know to be true, is that she's doing the trio. She's doing only the trio. The 3 steps that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. That's what Barb is doing. So if you are like, oh, well, I just need a better A1C, and I'm not sure where to start, the trio. This is where I started. I was a 2X when I started this. Okay. I was a 2X and I was a total sugar addict, and it basically calmed my food noise, brought down my insulin, helped my liver to function, kind of like gave me some appetite control, these 3. And I was able to lose those 3 sizes as I was trading out my foods. Okay. That's the first half of the total body reset. The second half is the pixie stick that I just talked about. And then you add in a probiotic powder, 5 strains that are alive. You just put them on your tongue. I just dropped one. It rolled right off. Put this on your tongue. 5 live strains, just like that. And then the last piece there is then the gut primer. Now, you have to understand that when it comes to, Lee says, good job, Barbara. I know it makes me very excited. When it comes to your gut, sometimes people are like, well, I don't know how to fix my gut, or I don't know what to do about my gut. Well, this is literally, Marie, I will actually So you're also from Canada. Can you remind me what those products are from the trio? I will. And then not only that, Marie, but what I'll do is I will send you my Canadian link. And the 3 products are right on that front page. Boom, boom, boom. They'll be right there for you in front of your face. So I'll send you a special link so you can look at those, okay? But when it comes to your gut, it's like, you have to think about it for just a second. Like, if you have leaky gut and you're not absorbing your nutrients, yeah, you are so welcome, Marie. You're not absorbing nutrients. This is why we end up with these deficiencies that just propagate more and more frustration in what we're trying to gain traction on. So like when it comes to our sugars being high, et cetera, like what if we are, I have to get another one because I dropped it. What if we are just deficient in certain trace minerals? Come on, you guys, you know the deficiency of magnesium, right? Like I talk about my magnesium all the time. I have a phenomenal magnesium should anybody need one. But I was just listening to another reel talking about, my daughter texted me last night and she said, if I have somebody who she's having heart palpitations, she's young, heart palpitation, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, it can always be serious, but it could be a magnesium deficiency. So whatever, we talked about that. It's crazy how many functions in your body just because you might have a deficiency in something like magnesium. And then I saw this reel and this doctor was saying that. He's like, I mean, honestly, just by getting people on magnesium, it's like, you get on the proper kinds and you can like fix your migraines and you can fix your, insulin resistance. And you can, well, he didn't say that, but it supports insulin sensitivity. And he was like, there's so many functions in your body. Well, it's the same thing here. If you have a leaky gut and that leaky gut is being created by insulin resistance and you're leaching out your nutrients, doesn't it make sense then that you're like probably deficient? Like what a simple conversation to have. Just simple. But then also that insulin resistance is starting to lay down fat inside, in and out around your liver. So you need something for your liver. You're basically getting your body to give you a different result. So when it comes to your gut, if you have leaky gut, let's shore that up. Let's support the healing and the sealing of your gut in order to absorb nutrition from the foods that you're eating and absorb the ingredients of the trace minerals or whatever it is that you're deficient in, whether it's magnesium, trace minerals, whatever, that you need your body to take in and keep. Because leaky gut is messing you up. But I feel like most people don't think about leaky gut because you don't know that you have it really. You don't think about it. Maybe you just notice that there's a deficiency, like your hair is falling out. Maybe you're noticing like weird stuff on your nails, like your nails are brittle. Maybe you're noticing, you're just noticing that your body's not performing very well. It's probably because you have an absorption issue, right? So you fix that with something like this. Now, having said that, this particular like conversation around like the gut primer, this is where people feel things like, okay, so now, oh, my bloating. My bloating is better. I don't eat and feel like I'm pregnant, or I had acid reflux. I was just reading that testimony the other night. Shirley, I think, has that testimony. She's not on here today. Acid reflux, after 6 weeks of being on the total body reset, her acid reflux went away and she got off of that script. Because you're able to start recalibrating your gut. You're actually able to start feeding your microbiome with proper probiotics. Get your inflammation in your gut. It's an actual gastrointestinal primer. Bring that inflammation down. Begin to heal and seal the lining of your gut. Those are the things. So those are the 6 pieces for the total body reset. If somebody wants that, I'll show you where you can see things easily. So this is the primer, the trio, the fat burner, and the probiotic. That's the wholeness of that total body reset. Most everybody does that. If you want just the visceral fat burner, you can do that. No matter what you choose, just register as a customer. Don't miss out on stuff by checking out as a guest. This is the orange pixie stick. Okay. So I'm going to show you where to find things. So Marie, I will get off and give you that information. What are y'all doing this weekend? Oh, I think I'm missing things. Can send you your Canadian link. Yes, I can. Okay, so I see both. I see Dee Dee M27 and Lori Joyal. I will send you those for Canada. Canada. I have great Canadian customers. Where did I see? Somebody else asked. Nope, it was just you two for Canada. Send me Dee M27 Lori Joyal. Okay, I will send those to you. And they will be right on the front of the page for you. But for everybody, go to the top of the page, all the way to the top. There's a little person icon. Okay, little person icon. Click on that. It's like a little head and shoulder. Click on that, and then you go register, and then you register as a customer. And that's then like, that's how you can get best shipping opportunity, like customer campaign opportunity, should you want to take advantage of that. And not everybody does, and that's okay. But I'm just telling you. Okay, so my site, you can see on Facebook and YouTube, it's right here. It's my first last name.com. My first name is Kirsten. Nice to meet you. Kirsten. And then there's no space. And then it has my last name, Liebelt, Liebelt. Oh, Lee, I'm jealous. She says she's at a national park camping until Sunday. It's beautiful here. That's fantastic, Lee. And you're watching me? What are you doing, Lee? You crazy girl. That's amazing. So KirstenLiebelt.com. And when you go there, you will see, what in the world? This is so funny. I must have touched a lot of things here. You'll see my face, okay? You'll see my face, and this is what you're going to see. You're going to see 4 buttons right there, okay? So for those in the United States, well, United States or Canada, you could do this. I'll send it to you anyway, but you could do this. The trio is right here, and on that trio button, there is a USA and a Canadian, okay? So they are both there. The second one is the liver reset stack. That is the orange pixie stick, the tablet, and the primer. The orange pixie stick, the tablet, and the primer. Okay, that's what the liver reset stack is. And what you can do then is go into that and just unclick the primer and unclick the tablet if this is all you want. You're like, I'm just going to do the orange pixie stick because I am going to deal with my visceral fat for the next 90 days. You could do that. You could actually just sign up as a customer and order 3 at a time. If you did 3, you're going to get free shipping as a registered customer, and you'll get 1 month in on the customer campaign. Okay, I'm not even going to go into that yet. There we go. But that's the liver reset. The second one is a gut reset, and then the total body is right there. Do you want to know where to get some free stuff? I'll show you where to get some free stuff. Lee says, I walked a mile earlier so that I could be back to watch you because your information is priceless. Lee! I think you're just amazing. You're a very, very good, encouraging person, Lee. I appreciate you so much. And good for you for walking a freaking mile. Like, that is fantastic. I think that is so wonderful. Think about what you're doing for your blood sugar. It's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. So free stuff, scroll, find my picture, my before and after, and then right here, free protein guide, free egg white bread recipe, free chocolate pudding recipe, sugar-free. I've got some Amazon faves, all that good stuff. And at the bottom, how to contact me. Now this afternoon, we are going to go live in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And if you want to jump in there, we're going to do recipe day. For 30 months in a row, we have done a free 5-day challenge, 30 months. And what we do is we talk about insulin resistance and ingredient trade outs and pantry and fridge and supplementation. And then on Friday, we do a recipe. So today, that's what we're going to do. If you want to get in, you can still jump in. Like I said, it's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You do have to give your email, otherwise they don't let you in. but we'll do the challenge. And today we're going to do keto stuffing. And I've never made it before until this week. And I followed the recipe from All Day I Dream About Food, her blog, which is a really good blog, by the way. Just to let you know. So, okay. So that's what we have going on today. So if you need anything from me, it is the weekend. This is such a good time for you to consider the fact that maybe you want to do their holidays differently. Maybe you want to feel like you're actually getting ahead, not perfect, not like, pie in the sky, all kinds of whatever, but you want to move ahead. You want to know you're doing something better to keep your bloating down, your sugar cravings down. You're actually doing something maybe that you don't see right away, with the visceral fat being targeted in your body. There are so many things like that you could be doing and not feel like you're just like sliding into January, feeling like total trash and beating yourself up. You don't have to do that. That is not a requirement of this season. So you can get a head start. And right now they do have, they've been doing it for a while now, but they have an extra bonus on the customer campaign. So if you're already on the customer campaign, don't stop because you've got more money coming back to you. Don't stop. Like the campaign is when you purchase $150 or more 3 months in a row, you get $75 off and you can rinse and repeat that as many times as you want. But right now you're going to get an extra $50 in January. So keep going. You're going to get an extra $50 in January, no matter, you just have to make sure that you are doing, you're building up to that you could be starting in November, you could be starting in December, but have that consistency. And then you're going to be getting extra money off of your order. You don't have to have a code. You only have to remember to order. You don't have to have specific products in your cart. It is only the requirement of a 150 or more subtotal. And then you cash in over and over again. Somebody just texted me this morning saying, I just got my, I think it was her second $75 off. Talk about reward for consistency. Nobody else out there is going to reward you for consistency, but we will. So that's how that works. So if you have questions over the weekend, don't hesitate to ask. I'd be more than happy. I'm going to send out Canadian links when I get off of here. If you need a customized cart, if you feel like anything that I said at all was confusing, clarify it with me, because otherwise you'll sabotage yourself and you won't move forward, and that will not have served you. Instead, let me serve you. Let me walk journey with you. Let me help you with your food decisions. I'm Italian. Figured out a few things because I had to, right? So if you're in the group, I cannot wait to see you at 3 p.m. Have the best day ever on the face of the planet, the best weekend. I hope you do something for you. Do something for you this weekend. Make a new recipe, shop for a new ingredient, do some meal planning, order your supplements, get online, get it all figured out. You're meant to do the auto ship. You chose not to, you didn't take the time. Take the time this weekend. Do those things. Do something for yourself to position yourself and your body for the holidays so that you don't have to live with shame and regret. You're just going to go through the holidays and you're just going to allow yourself your journey, and you're going to give yourself permission for a more long-term thought process so that you can get the results that everybody else is getting. Because you're like, geez, I want better lab reports. I want better, results on a fatty liver. I want to lose fat. I want to change sizes. I want to do, get off meds that are making me have a lot of side effects. Like, you want stuff too. So go get it. Go get it. You deserve it too. So, all right. I will chat with you on Monday. Unless you're in the group, then I'll see you at 3. Bye, you guys.